Taiwan e-scooter development is actually beginning almost 30 years ago, back in 1992, when the government assigned ITRI to develop a e-scooter. ITRI is funded by a Taiwanese government as a research institute. And then 3 years later, the government started a subsidy program for consumers buying a scooter. Okay. Then in 1998, the government set up a goal, say that 2% of the domestic sale should be e-scooter, and this is going to be begin on year 2000. Okay. And then it's also talking about how to set up both the charging station and battery swapping station. And since the 2 years limitation, so everybody try to develop e-scooter. So 6 companies come out, join together, develop the first ever scooter, and it use sealed lead acid battery, SLA battery. But unfortunately, the SLA battery is very heavy, and the motor that used also suffer the performance issues. So this one actually comes very fast, but they didn't sell very well or accepted very well in the market. And in year 2000, Kimco also come with their own Model Air. Okay. And by 2009, Taiwanese government also set up a standard e-scooter standard that talk about safety, the integration, performance of the testing of the e-scooter. And then it also published a e-scooter industry development execution plan that recommend the industry to adopt a better energy source, which is a lithium-ion battery. And then it also saying that they're going to continue this subsidizing program and subsidize on the charging station facilities set up. So there's more company come out with the e-scooter models. Interestingly, by 2011, Gogoro, which is a very famous Taiwanese e-scooter company, they started a company on 2011. And at the same year, the Taiwanese government also saying that they're going to waive the national sales tax for people to buy e-scooter. And the local government, which take the registration license, is going to be exempt as well, okay, to encourage people to buy e-scooter. And on 2013, government published all the national standard for charging station, the interface, its safety requirement, and the protocol. Okay. And they also published the inspection standard for battery swapping system. So they understand, the government noticed that although there are 15 companies and 40 e-scooter received the subsidy, but the sales didn't really reach the expectation level. Okay. So the government on 2014 start to promote the so-called high-end e-scooter that use, say, lithium-ion battery, and encourage people to use more the so-called local-made component. Okay, and Gogoro take this chance to come out with their first ever lithium-ion battery e-scooter, and use a so-called battery swapping system. The model is called Smart Scooter, and the sale did not fly off right away, okay? And so both the industry at this time actually started to argue about how to take care of this battery, the energy source for e-scooter. So the charging system and the swapping system, it's been going through a heavy debate in the industry as well as in the government. And final decision is, let's decide later. So by 2017, government announced, say they'd like to see these all new e-scooter sales are all, or the all new scooter sales are all e-scooter by 2035. And they also announced that the internal combustion engine light scooters should be decommissioned or stop the sales by 2019. Okay. And at the same year, Google want to push to promote its own swapping system, so they built a so-called battery swapping alliance partnership, okay, which is going to help Google sell quite a bit. And a year after, the 2018, two Taiwanese companies started interface with talk to Indian company, try to start up the e-scooter business in India. And interestingly, the ICE light scooter sales that powered by the gas did stop sales on 2019. And the e-scooter sales reached an annual sales of more than 160,000 units that year. Okay. And it helped Google to went public this year. Okay. So that's a kind of a short run through